How dare you? So I'm gonna be really, really real with you here. And you better stick around, grab yourself by the balls, the ovaries, whatever the F you've got, and sit and listen. Now, you listen here, and I'm gonna gently hold on to you. And I just want to shake you, okay? You are not worthless. How dare you? How dare you think that? Do you not understand, like, scientific reality? Okay, let's be real effing cynical right here, okay? Okay? Real mother trucking cynical. I would be swearing at you right now, but there's other issues involved here. Let's say we're just measuring the worth of meat, okay? Of what you've got going right here, okay? Let's just measure that. Yeah, that's what I said. Let's measure that. Look, I'm gonna have to do some, like, tapping to, like, calm my shit down during this, okay? Because it's how, like, absolutely insane it is. Yeah. No, you shut up and listen. Let's say we're calculating the price of your organs, okay? Even that means you're not worthless, okay? But let's calculate the price of those. I mean, that's millions of dollars right there that people would pay for your body, okay? Even on, like, other stupid, like, horrible meat markets, okay? And this is why sometimes people who are vulnerable go into terrible employment situations and sell themselves, is because sometimes you get down to it and you know that, I mean, that's when you know you're worth something, is that you have money exchanged for your body and you know your body is worth something. Okay, so that's, like, real cynical, bottom line, like, just lowest of the low calculations. Even the most terrible people in the world who would want to use your body for their own pleasure without concern for your pleasure, or use your organs and stuff like that. Even, like, the lowest of the low, most horrible people would not consider you worthless. So how dare you consider yourself worthless? Like, you're calculating yourself at less worth than, like, total assholes who, like, ruin the world. How dare you? How absolutely dare you? Like, you're wrong. You can say anything you want, but the feelings and stuff in your head, they're wrong. You're just wrong. There's just no other way around it. Okay? This is whispering because this is supposed to be, like, ASMR and shit like that. But the reason it's ASMR, honestly, is because I know there are a, mother nuttin' ton of sad, depressed people here in the ASMR community, and that's literally the only reason I'm whispering, is because I want to find you. I'm gonna freaking find you, and this is me finding you with keywords, because I want to tell you this, because I'm so sick and tired of the crap in your brain telling you lies. Okay, I hate that. How dare that disease do that to you? Do you have any idea? Like that makes me so angry. It makes me angry because it's trying to kill me too. And it's like, F off. If you want to kill me, then, like, do it yourself. Don't make me kill myself. Like, what a lazy disease. I've literally laid down and been, like, just in the really, like, worst, like, wanting to die type situation. And, like, literally came to the realization, like, hey, if you want me dead, do it yourself. Right? Like, that, what a coward the stuff is in your brain. Not you, but the stuff that's not you, that's telling you you're worthless or you shouldn't be around. Like, what a cowardly effing disease, okay? Like, and anyone who tells you you're worthless, like, no, I'm not advocating violence here. Sometimes people who recommend bad stuff, it's because they're in pain, okay? They're in pain themselves, and so that helps them to be a-holes. That's why I'm an a-hole. But they need to be silenced in that moment. Sometimes your free effing speech is not trucking necessary, okay? Like, shut the F up. Shut up. Shut up. So, even the worst people would calculate you as being worth something. Okay, let's move up from that. Let's move up a step from that. Let's look at what your labor is worth. In some countries, your labor is worth $15 an hour. In other countries, it's worth $1 an hour. Whatever. Either way, your labor is worth something. And let's go into that. Let's go into your labor. What can your labor do? Okay. So you say, I have physical handicaps and I can't do something, or I'm very, very sick and therefore I'm not going to be able to help anybody. Okay, so my labor is worthless. I'm on disability, whatever, this, that, or the other. Okay. There are folks with locked-in syndrome who have freaking written books, okay, just by blinking one eye at a time. I had a patient with locked-in syndrome. Yes, I'm an actual doctor. No, nothing here is medical advice. Right now, I'm just being a pissed-off depression sufferer who wants to freaking punch your depression in the face. Excuse me, that was a swear word. Sorry, I got myself off. I'm gonna have to bleep what I just did. But really, okay, this is like... Alright, we were calculating your worth at the next level. So I had a patient with locked-in syndrome, and I still think about that patient often, almost every month. Okay, that patient had an impact on me, and on many, many other people. We sat and we talked about Magic the Gathering together at one point, and I sincerely regret not going back to the hospital when I still worked there and bringing my Magic the Gathering cards to talk to him. I don't think he's there anymore. I don't think he's alive anymore. And now my body won't let me make those trips. Okay, but you see, like, how much that person affected me? Like, this is some dude, like, doesn't probably remember me from any of the other healthcare people there. And this is a person who spoke with blinking. Okay, this is a person who spoke with blinking. You can write a freaking book. Joni Emerson Tata, I think is her name. Joni Tata. She freaking broke her neck from neck down, and she helps charities by drawing paintings with her mouth. Okay, in some ways you have more abilities with a broken body because people are more impressed when you do anything. Okay, because of some of the stereotypes we have. So the brain thing has no excuse. You are clearly worth something. You are able to do things in this world. And you might say, like I'm just so freaking pissed off this week because you said that what is it you said? You said something super dumb. Made me really mad. Because you said that there's 7 billion other people in the world, so why are you necessary? May I ask you a question? Okay, if 7 billion other people had diamonds, okay, but I don't have a diamond, and you do have a diamond, and you give me that diamond, do I freaking care about the 7 billion other people's diamonds? No, I care about the ton of money that you just gave me, right? Forget about the 7 billion other people. You have your unique ability to help the people right around you. Me. You can, this is my very selfish calculation, but you can do good for me directly. I need a ton of help. And there's a bunch of other people, like there's people in your very life that are walking around near you who are suffering. And maybe you don't see them because they're wearing a smile and you're like, just, it's all up in your brain. But you're all up in your brain juices and shit. Like, and so you don't see, but like they don't care about like some genius, like somebody here in, somebody in the UK who's right next to you doesn't care about some other genius off in China who's doing amazing things. They care about the person right in their life who can do good for them right now. Excuse me, that was loud. Like, they don't care about that. So why do you care about some, there's only one person who has your genetics right here, right now, around the people that you know. One person. Do you know who that is? Oh, it's you. I guess you're not worthless after all, you idiot. You're not worthless. Okay, and you're probably not even an idiot. All of this matter. You are an idiot. Like, don't you see how freaking valuable you are to the people around you? And you have no idea. And even if the people around you are like total a-holes and don't see it, there are other people who see it. And there's somebody who's waiting for the kindness that only you have to give. And you would deprive them of that by like hating yourself and not existing. How dare you? Like, how dare you? How actually dare you? You can't. You have no idea. no idea how much just a little thing can make a really big difference in somebody's life. You have no idea. Anybody who's survived serious, like, and kind of come out of the other side, even for just a little bit of light of that, like, darkness of mental illness, like, anyone who's had that moment of escape and clarity will tell you that there are little things that people said and did along the way that helped to save their life. And it's not usually a big thing. It's usually a little thing. You have no idea what you could be doing to help somebody else not live in absolute misery. And I know part of it is in a lot of societies where there's a high depression, there's a lot of isolation. We're like very connected on social media, but not really connected. We have to have a lot of our fake stuff and what we look like, and so we're like reaching out and grasping for attention with all our posts and everything like that, because we're not getting real human connection and love in real life. I mean, that's why on the Discord for this channel, I've set up the pen pal system so you guys can interact a little bit more, like, personally with somebody. But I mean, bottom line is you matter. I mean, you're so freaking wrong. Okay. So, let's move to the next step, right, of worth. Like what you can offer somebody. Let's talk like metaphysical. Okay? Let's talk metaphysical. Let's talk about two metaphysical possibilities. In one metaphysical possibility, let's say everything in the universe is random. There is no higher being. And, billions of people around the world got it wrong. Who've experienced a higher being. They're all wrong. And there is nothing out there, right? Just void. Okay, let's assume that reality. In that assumption, then you are so precious because you are this one chance that has happened in millennia, and we're not going to roll those dice and get you again. The odds are so against that. And in an empty universe with no other love, the only thing that makes life worth living is experiencing all that random and crazy beauty and loving other people, and that's it, because everything else is meaningless, right? So let's assume that reality for a moment. Now let's assume the reality that, obviously I'm biased. I think that the evidence lies in this other reality where there is, a reason for the universe, and there is a plan, and there is a higher being. And most people fall in that category, right? Of believing in that reality in some form or another. Okay. So let's suppose that. Then we get into all the nitty gritty and all different stuff of like, does that being care about you or not, or so forth. A being had you be here. So there's a reason. And if there's a reason, like, why do you want to thwart that instead of finding out what that reason is? Let's suppose two more possible realities. Let's suppose this is a higher power who doesn't care about you, or even who's evil. Kind of an amoral higher power. Let's suppose that. Well, then, you have this brief opportunity in your existence to fight that and to be, to subvert what that being has planned for you, right? To like do better and do good, right? You have that ability, right? And obviously good in that case with an evil being would be defined. It would be difficult to define it. But it would be, you would have to figure out what that is and what that means. Now but even in that reality, right? Then logically you are necessary to help fight that tyranny. And we need you as a species, right? To like ascend to what humanity needs to be. Let's suppose a reality where it's not evil, but it just doesn't care about you and it's out there. Well then hell, if our like grand overfather doesn't care about us, we really need you. We really need to care about each other. Like we have to have the more of us that can care, the better. Because we're all alone then. We need you. Okay? So let's move into the reality that I think exists, okay, and that again, a number of other people, this is where a minority of people I think really believe this, but really believe that there is a being that loves you, okay, and that like is waiting for you on the other side of like myth and science and beyond all these other things, like beyond the stars, in the center of an atom, in the core of a flower, in every pleasant experience you've ever had. Like this being is like sprinkling good things into your life and waiting through the darkness near you and just waiting to show you the most amazing thing. Like the center of the universe, like this being from which all good comes, is waiting to connect with you and to show you a secret that only you know. In the last book of the Brit Hadashah, which is the New Testament, quote unquote, but not in that language. And the last, there's a thing that says to he who overcomes, I will give his own name on a white stone. And there's also like, he will be a pillar holding up my temple. So like there's this idea that like you are necessary to hold up what is good and beautiful about the world. And you have one name that you need to discover, like your special identity, your special self, that white stone. Like you're hunting for we're all hunting for that white stone and looking for like what we are to become, who we are, right? And you can't miss that. You can't jump out of this game early and miss that. Because it's worth it. It's worth suffering for, okay? In that, you know. So in every possible metaphysical combination, of course there's combinations of these and people believe different variations of things, but in every possible metaphysical variation of belief, right, you matter. You matter. Like nihilism has absolutely no footing logically, okay? Comparing like all these different things. Just based on the simple exercise we just did, you matter and we need you. And like whether it's we need you to give a middle finger to the universe, or we need you to like, because you have a special piece of that puzzle of like what is, you know, beyond everything, because you have your special white name, your special piece of the temple that shows us what God is and who God is. Like he has a purpose for you. So whether that's the case or whether there is nothing and we just need you because we're alone out here, right? Either way, we need you. Either way, you're wrong. Like there, you have no foot to stand on. And that is why this is a disease. This is your brain lying to you. The thing that helps you find truth is lying to you. And that pisses me off. Like how dare that? Like that is the opposite of what its job is. That's the opposite of what it's supposed to be doing. Like how dare you? Just. So we've gone through the worst possible calculation. We've gone through like slightly higher calculation. We've gone through like the utilitarian calculation, like what you can add to people. We've gone through the metaphysical calculation. Okay. I'm not even sure what's left. I know there's more, but you need to go to sleep now. You need to rest. We can do this again. We can talk again, but you need to tell yourself the truth. And the truth is, I have to find out what I'm here for. And I am needed, and I need other people. Just as I feel lonely and need other people are lonely and need me. I have something to offer, and my job is to humbly figure out how best I can fit into that need. You know, some people wait for like a mystical calling to become like great, to become heroes. Mother trucker, the need is the call. If someone is in need, that's the call. If you see a homeless person, like, who, you know, maybe needs a drink, like, that's the call. You know, and even more, like, what if you can help them get connected with their social security agency? What if you can help them get connected with the local charity they don't know about? Like, you know, what can you do to help them out? Like, maybe you're an employer. Even employers get depressed. Maybe you can find someone a job, do some training, introduce them to like Fiverr, Upwork, or, you know, if you can get them computer access or help them to learn on their phone how they can work from anywhere, maybe you can help them out of that situation. Okay, like there's different levels, and I don't want to overwhelm you, right? You got to start where you are comfortable starting. You got to start with what you can But even if it's the tiniest thing, remember the tiniest thing can save a life. Just a little thing. Okay? We need you. I need you. And again, let's start with the nastiest, like, basest calculation. Like, I need views because that helps me to, like, make a difference and, like, tell people about what's going on. That helps the algorithm, right? So even at the, like, nastiest, like, most stupid and cynical calculation, like, I need you. On a higher level, like, at the highest level, I need you because you are created by my, like, deepest love, my deepest lover, and they have something, like, we're all connected as people. You know, we all come from the same place. Whether you believe like I do in, like, Adam and Eva, or whether you believe in, you know, that's not what happened. Whatever you believe in, we all came from the same ancestor. We have a special connection genetically, all of us, across race, religion, you know, sexuality, creed, whatever. Even if, like, a lot of the things you do, I mean, it's butterfly effect, right? That's this last calculation, is the scientific calculation, is we know the butterfly effect. Little things you do can harm the world, but little things you can do can also benefit the world. And you have the ability to make that choice. And again, I believe in both free will and predestination. I think there's a lot of complexities about, you know, when we get into, you know, that I think the Heisenberg principle of the electron teaches us, but we can talk about those very complex metaphysical concepts at another time. But no matter what, like, in your reference, from your frame of reference, you have the ability to make that choice to do a little bit of good. And even if you feel you don't, and I often feel like I can't do good, you can take a step to try. And maybe that little step is you connecting with the divine. Maybe that little step is you talking to a therapist. Maybe that little step is doing a CBT or DBT exercise from one of the videos, okay? There's resources down below. I'm not going to plug the betterhelp.com/Dr. Jen thing right now, but there's plenty of resources down below for you to take a step in fighting this bad boy, okay? You take that little step, and that affects me. Every little way that we all affect each other. You know that one of the reasons reporters shouldn't be, like, always reporting on school shootings and things like that is that they're copycats that come up when they see things. The same thing actually happens with suicides, is that you'll have suicide copycats. It's like a known phenomenon. Because people, it's not that suicide is contagious. We shouldn't hide mental health or lie about it. But it's that people who already have mental health issues, when they see somebody take the plunge, they decide to take the plunge themselves, right? So even in that, like, very cold, calculating way, I need you to stay alive. I'm one of those vulnerable people. There are a lot of others who are vulnerable, but I'm a vulnerable person where I'm at that, like, teeter-tottering place where people can push me over, right? And there are a lot of others like that. So you have a responsibility to protect the rest of us, just like I have a responsibility to try to protect you, because we are all connected. We are. Like, I need you. So it's the higher level that I need you, on the low, stupid level that I need you for, like, oh, I need views, I need money. Mother chucker, that's so gross and cold. But, you know, however you calculate it, I need you. Me, personally, Jen. I've been talking longer than I planned to. I was just going to yell at you for like 5 minutes and move on. But I really feel about this. I care about this so much. I was gonna do a bunch of edits or whatever, and make this like some kind of fancy thing, but I just want to be honest with you. You can't go. You can't. You can't. I get it. I want to. But that's all just lies talking. And you can't. Here's the thing. So, I don't know if you're for or against the death penalty. 1 in 10 people in the US anyway who are investigated by the Innocence Project who are on death penalty end up being found via DNA evidence innocent. So I'm definitely against the way the death penalty is done in the US. I think that I believe, because of the Torah, that there are crimes for which that would be appropriate, but I don't think that it works. I think that we're almost better off being abolished if we're a 1 in 10 person that we're executing is like innocent, okay? But even in a legal system that needs so much work, like in the US, okay? And there's other systems that are like harsher in Singapore, and Malaysia. Like I've heard of human trafficking victims being executed for like carrying drugs, okay? Like stuff is whack out there. So, I think that it should be reserved for special cases, and that you gotta have like a lot of DNA evidence. Like you gotta, like everybody gotta done been there and seen it, okay? Signatures and stuff, like it's gotta be way, 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 way more. But regardless of what you believe, or what I believe, maybe you believe in abolishing it entirely, I respect that. Maybe you believe we should be real strict with it and kill a lot of people. I don't know that I respect that, but I guess I understand it. Wherever you are with the death penalty, okay? No country, even like the worst corrupt, like death penalty system, kills somebody without some form of evidence, right? Something, right? You are planning on being executed based on what, feelings? That's the worst evidence. That's murderer stuff. Like that's the difference between just a murderer and a court of law. Like a court of law that decides to execute someone, again, whether you're for that or against that, a court of law that decides it based on some kind of evidence. A murderer decides it based on feelings. Like, I don't like this guy, okay? Like, that's dumb. That's stupid. That's stupid. Okay, don't be stupid. Don't be like, that's why are you gonna take away so much from us and like screw all the rest of us over based on feelings, not based on evidence. There is no evidence for your worthlessness. You can't prove it. You can't prove it. You can try, but you're gonna be wrong every time with the actual evidence. And you can't live your life based on feelings. And that's the flip side of this stupid Hollywood, like, oh, I feel it, therefore it must be true. Search your feelings, Luke. You know it to be true. Fuck that. Search reality, Luke. Excuse me. Gotta bleep that. Don't search your feelings, Luke. Search reality. Okay, like feelings are great. Don't get rid of them. They matter. And sometimes they can tell you things, but you cannot base your decisions on them, especially not whether or not to kill someone. That's dumb. That's the worst. So now I've yelled at you. I've made fun of you. I've almost cried at you. And I'm going to end by saying, you know, I don't know if you will believe me if I say I love you. And I don't know that I have the capacity for love that I want to have. I wonder sometimes if I love anybody. But if I do love anybody, I believe I love you. I hope that I love you because I want to love you, because you matter, and I see objectively this value of you. I want I want to do what's best for you, and in my opinion, that's what love is, and then the feelings around love follow afterwards. So by my definition of like wanting what's best for you and then having feelings about it afterwards, like, I love you, and I believe that there's someone else who loves you more. So, Andre.